Okay. Ah, we are live now, sir, and a warm happy evening to all the participants and also to the sir who have joined with us for the webinar on POCSO Act. And I am Nirmal Kumar Jain, a law student and the founder of Law Gardener. On behalf of our team, welcome you, sir, for this session, for accepting our request, and also thank for that acceptance also, sir. And also like to welcome all the participants, which include law students, lawyers, and common man. Before starting the session, I would like to give you a short introduction of our guest. Sir is the co-founder of V Legal, which deals with the corporate legal affairs and conducting corporate training sessions under the POSH Act and other legal aspects. Sir has an expertise of almost 3 decades in handling different domains of law at various levels. Sir is a certified mediator for commercial and family dispute. Sir practiced as an advocate and led the legal department of in two international airports. Now, now we will before starting the session. So we request sir to what is it? Huh. We request sir take the session further, and hope you all the participants submit their questions in the end and do subscribe to our channel. We can support in this way. Sir. You over to you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you, Nirmal. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for a nice words introduction, and I appreciate your efforts. Especially, I love the law gardener because I, like you, believe law is a plant when it started, when it is pronounced, and it needs nurturing. So what we are doing now is that nurturing part because every law in our country is being made published in a document nobody heard. It is in official gazette or maybe at website. But the irony is the law is made for the public. How do you know? How do you ensure the public is aware of this law? What is the mechanism we have? So that is what nurturing. That is why where a gardener is required. So I appreciate once again. I welcome everyone. Thank you for having me for this session.
Thank you so much, sir.
And what we are going to talk today is a law called Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. In short, we say POCSO Act. I'm sure most of you know, you heard, because every newspaper, let it be regional or national papers, we have minimum one or two news about POCSO. It is an unfortunate event. So, if you ask me, what is the most heinous crime? That is sexual offenses against children. Why? Because most of the time, the victim, the child who undergoes the abuse may not be aware that somebody is doing a crime on me. And that is exactly the reason a perpetrator planned to do to use a child. So the most heinous crime is a sexual offenses against children, in my view. Right? Same way, the POCSO Act, it was published, it was made applicable in 2012. Prior to that, we did not have a comprehensive law to deal with exclusively the child sexual abuse. Before that, we used to have a book, if at all the complaints come, because there was a time, maybe in my childhood, 25, 30, 35 years back, early 80s, 90s, child sexual abuse was not a big deal. Even if we go and complain to our parents, they may not give lot of importance the way we do for our children today. Legally, it was not a big offense. Even if you go to police, police will book the perpetrator, the accused, under section 377, or which is again will not stand in a trial, because that only talks about the carnal intercourse. So there was a huge hue and cry for a law exclusively deals with the sexual offenses, because it has been increased every educational institutions, every wherever the children are. So a law was highly required in early 2000, and finally we have a law today. It is called POCSO Act 2012. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to read the entire law here today. That you can do even otherwise. If you go to Google, you can do things. What I'm going to do is there are certain factors, salient features of POCSO law. We only discuss that. That will give you an idea why is this law very important, and how is it different from other criminal laws. So that's what my idea. You have any doubts, please feel free to shoot either verbally or in comment. Nirmal will take care of it. So let's start. As I said, often a criticism comes about such laws or POCSO law is, what is big deal in this? Children undergo such things, touching or maybe telling something. Are we required to be very serious about it? It has been happening time immemorial, maybe last 50 years, 100 years. Why there is a law today? These are some questions when we introduce. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I do training on POCSO law. This sometimes says. So I have an answer for that. The answer is, if you have been doing something where there is no restriction, it does not mean that if one day a restriction can come, then you won't be able to do it. We need to stop that point. Today onwards, it is a illegal thing. Let me refrain from that. Right? You cannot continue with a justification saying that I've been doing this. So that is not possible. The best example, as I used to say in my sessions, maybe 25 years or 30 years back, people used to smoke inside even the bus, train, roads, even movie hall, right? You must have heard, or whoever of my age will remember that. Today, can we see someone smoking inside a movie hall while watching a film? No. Someone smoke in a train, sitting or in a bus or in a main street market? No. Why? Why are people not smoking in a busy market place today? Because people know police can catch hold on them and they may go to jail, because smoking in a public place is an offense, right? So it does not mean that they all stop, give up, quit smoking. No. What they do, they will not smoke until they reach a place where, at their home or a place where a smoking zone, etc. So, point is, what are they doing? They control the urge. Why? Because they know the consequence. So, these 2 points are very important. They control the urge of smoking, and they, because they know the consequence. This is precisely applicable for a POCSO, a sexual abuse cases. One needs to control their action because they should know the consequence. There the problem lies. Do public, before we started session, Nirmal and I were just chatting. So I asked, do public know there is a law, very stringent law? Even a death punishment can be awarded. A law there, they may be caught. Even forget about bail. They may not get bail even a smallest offense under POCSO. Are they aware? Most of the time people are asked, when we deal with the cases, they say, sir, we did not know it is a legal offense, it is a crime, because no one told us it is a crime. So that is so what we can do. The legislature creates the law, the court interprets the law, it all comes in newspaper, the law is being made available in the portal of government of India. But do public read it? One, even if they read it, do they understand it? So that is the reason you and I, we are sitting here today. We need to make aware of the people, not the children. Children, I am coming to that. I am talking about the public. Public should know. Look, there is a law. It is very stringent. So one should control their action. I hope I am clear. Okay. So what we do is, I'll briefly take you all what some features of POCSO law, which is different from some other criminal laws. The first thing, the POCSO Act is a special law, and the lawyers, I'm not able to see the community who's hearing me. So the students, legal students and lawyers, they know probably what is the difference between special law and general law. But for others, let me make it in a very simple language. A special law is being made to protect, to safeguard the interest of a particular class of people because they are not equal to others, right? So that law is called special law or welfare law, we call it. What is the importance? Why are we saying this? Because tomorrow, any case is booked under special law, and if any contradiction happens between a general law and special law, and a court is not able to decide which is the correct law, it's a fundamental rule. Position is always the special law prevails because special law deserves a liberal interpretation. You understand? So that is the important. There are many special laws like POCSO, POSH, Scheduled Caste Tribe Atrocities Act. These are all special law. So always the special laws prevail. It gets a weightage before the court if there is a contradiction. I hope I am clear. All right. Now, second important feature of the POCSO Act, it's a criminal law. Now, again, I'm not going to explain what is the difference between civil law and criminal law. Only 2 points, just for understanding of the people who don't have much of idea about legal preposition. That in a criminal case, once it is filed, once an FIR, once a complaint is being filed before the police station, and FIR has been lodged, and then you cannot withdraw that case. Whereas in a civil case, at any stage of the case, the person who filed the case, the plaintiff, can withdraw the case and close it, either settled or not settled. No court will ask why is it being withdrawn. But in criminal case, you cannot withdraw the case. One thing. Second thing, in a criminal case, the person who have been convicted will go to jail, minimum jail for a period. We know 5 years, 10 years, life imprisonment, and sometimes death also. Rarest of rarest case. In civil law, nobody is sent to jail, even if they found they did something wrong, but they will not be sent to jail. So, POCSO is a special law. You know the difference now, and it's a criminal law, right? Third point, this law applies only the sexual offense. The POCSO Act has no bearing, no meaning on any other abuse, child abuse, even corporal punishment, for example, school. These are all not part of this law. This law applies only for the sexual offense, right? It doesn't require much of explanation. My fourth point is in every crime happens in our country under IPC and under Criminal Procedure Code, there is a limitation to file the complaint, except in the case of murder and rape. Means you need to file the complaint for a period equivalent to the maximum punishment against that uh, offense. For example, sexual harassment against women, we are not talking about child, woman is an offense under Indian Penal Code, Section 354A, right? So, the maximum punishment for a sexual harassment, not rape, is 3 years. So, a woman can file complaint under IPC within 3 years. And if they file after 3 years, on that ground, that case may go, right? But in POCSO case, the limitation is not applicable. If I had been abused at the age of 5, I can still go to court. Of course, let me add along with it. This is an issue yet to be settled. There are two judgments from Supreme Court which is against this limitation part, but there is a circular issued by government on that there is no limitation applicable. So as on today, for a learning purpose, let's take that there is no limitation applicable. And next point, it's a gender neutral law. It's not only a girl child is getting benefit of this law. It could be a boy, it could be a girl, it could be a transgender child. Anyone can go if they are less than 18 years of age. They can file a case. Now, a child could be a perpetrator and accused in this case. It's not only a matured, a child means less than 18 years of age can be an accused. That child can abuse another child. So a child can be booked under POCSO Act. Next point is very important. If we think we don't indulge any child abuse and then POCSO has nothing to do with that, then you are wrong. If it is happening, a child is being abused at your neighbor's place, or in your office, or in your factory, or wherever you are, you have knowledge that a child has been abused, and you have chosen not to inform police, then you are an offender. That is called mandatory reporting. Tomorrow, during investigation, the court, the police found that Rafeeque was aware of the incident, but he had chosen not to inform. that I can go to jail for 6 months. So I am not part of any offense. I have not abused any child. Still, I can be booked under POCSO Act. These are the, I said, there are some very different features of this law. So I hope it's clear. Now, under one section, I will tell you what is that section. A court can give death punishment, right? There are minimum 8, 9 cases already been awarded death punishment under POCSO, right? Now, another next point is very important. I need your complete attention. In a criminal case, the when the case is tried means the evidence, everything examined by the court. Every court will presume that that accused is innocent until he proved guilty, right? He is innocent. Any offense, I'm not talking about POCSO, any offense, he is innocent or he or she is innocent until the prosecution proves him guilty, right? It's a normal case. In POCSO, it is just reverse. In POCSO court, presume that this guy is guilty until he proved innocent. See the difference? The the person, it is the duty of this person, the perpetrator or the accused, to prove that he is innocent. Again, like limitation, there are issues on this point. There are judgments in favor and against it. The issue is not yet settled, but there is a provision under Section 29 of POCSO Act talks about it, right? So that is the presumption of guilty. Now, next is very important point, that is child porn, child pornography. As you know, in India, watching a porn privately is not an offense, right? But if it is a child pornography piece where a child acted or somewhere it's connected with a child when I say 18 years, in any form it is an offense. Watching is an offense, sharing is an offense, storing is an offense, everything is an offense. And it's stringent. Even punishment, fine and jail, both. So, child pornography in any, even making children to act in a movie which is may not be porn, even that there are OTT platform cases are against when child is showing drinks and all things. So, child pornography in any form, I'm sure you must have read in newspaper. There is a hunt because there are WhatsApp groups. They share commercially the child pornography. So even if by mistake it comes to the phone, either delete it quietly or you have to inform the police. Or if police find it out tomorrow for any reason, then you will be in problem. So child pornography. Now the schools in our country, that's the last point. The schools in our country, they have certain responsibilities under POCSO. The first thing, every employee, including teachers, non-teaching staff, other staff, even security guard, housekeeping staff, they all should undergo a character antecedent test with the police before they have been employed. It's a very compulsory thing. Whether schools are aware of it or whether schools are following with that, we I have doubt. Many schools, they bona fide they are not aware, but that is very important. Also, it doesn't stop there. An affidavit should be taken from each of new employee that he or she has not been involved any POCSO cases. That is second thing. Third, the every periodically there should be a training awareness program for the children, the staff, the management, even in the PTA committee. There should be a training. And the last one, they should have a policy as to how to deal with the sexual harassment issues of the school. So these four things: character antecedent for employees, and affidavit from the employees, training for all staff, everything, and the policy. These four are compulsory. Even CBSE, ICSE, they are strict, and as and when a inspection comes, they ask for definitely the details of this four. So this is very important. Next time you go to school for your children, you ask, do you comply with the POCSO thing? If they don't, check with them, or refer our discussion and tell them, look, you need to follow certain things, right? So I think I'm clear. We have discussed 11 points here, though a little faster. So if you have any point, you can ask, and you can either stop me or you can ask uh, thing. I will continue it. You can stop me. So we discuss now the features of the law. Now, what are the offenses? What are the crimes? Let's put it in crime. If you go with the act, you won't understand like penetrative sexually assault, aggravated penetrative sexual assault. These are the names. So keep that aside. I will make you understand very simple way. The offenses under POCSO can be divided into four, just four. One is penetrative in nature. I think you all know what is penetration. So, penetrative in nature are the most heinous crime under POCSO. Out of that, two, second one, aggravated penetrative sexual assault. Means penetration is required, sexual assault should be there. But why it is called aggravated? Because the person who has abused the child is from the category of the trust and authority of the child. For example, a school staff, a hostel warden, or whoever, a police officer, a army officer, or a madrasa teacher, they all come under this category. And the death punishment can be given in this category, that is aggravated penetrated sexual assault. If that happens with a stranger, then comes this. This is comparatively lesser punishment with when you compare with aggravated penetrative sexual assault. So that is penetration. It is nothing but rape. Rape, all ingredients of rape, though it doesn't call rape, but it is rape. Now, second category comes touch, but no penetration. What does it mean? Means a child uh, made child to touch any part of your body or vice versa, but there is no penetration. Then it called sexual assault. I'll remember. I'll take you to refresh your memory. A year back, or 1.5 years back, Bombay High Court, Nagpur bench passed a very controversial order by a lady justice, High Court judge, Ms. Pushpa Kanediwala. What she said, she acquitted a person who groped the child over her clothes. So the court's finding was there was no skin to skin touch. There was a cloth in between. Therefore, This sexual assault, section 7, is not applicable. Therefore, he has been acquitted from section 7. Because for this offense, the skin to skin touch is required. She somehow interpreted in this way, and this was made a huge issue. Supreme Court interfered, and show motto its own, they have set aside this judgment. Later, this judge had been resigned in a later time. She was not made permanent as a High Court judge, and subsequently she was resigned. So here, can we blame the judge? No. Most of the time, the perception works. According to her, for sexual assault, a section under POCSO Act requires the touch should be with the skin to skin, not over the cloth. So that was a very important case, this sexual assault. But while dismissing her order, Supreme Court made one thing very clear. You need sexual intent. That is very important. Sexual intent. Sexual intent is required for this provision. For all because penetrative, we don't need to prove that penetration happens when if there is a sexual intent. Otherwise, penetration will not happen. But here, the sexual assault case, there should be a sexual intent. There are many cases happened on this. Last year, not even a year, Meghalaya High Court dismissed, closed, set aside, quashed one FIR where a guy held the hand of a 9 years old girl and said, "Your hand is beautiful." So he was booked under POCSO. So he was 54 years old. The girl was 9 years old. It was happened in a public place where everybody was playing cards. So in between, this guy asked for water. So she came. So he said, hand is beautiful. So court said it's not we couldn't see any sexual intent in that because it was a public place. The age she knows, they know each other. So the case was quashed. So sexual intent is very important. One more case in Kolkata happened. A guy told that, stopped a girl while walking and removed her maybe hijab, removed her hijab compulsorily and said that I would like to marry you, right? So this was booked under POCSO. Then it was the court said no, there is no sexual intent in that. So sexual intent is not exactly the action. Sexual intent is something inside. You have a motive. What is the motive under this law is sexual intent. So that is touch. So we discussed penetrity, we discussed touch. Now third category comes, there is no penetration, there is no touch, only words, gestures, etc. Right? If you abuse a child, if you tell something vulgar to a child, you share a video to a child, or you share a joke, a vulgar joke to a child, or even you stalk the child, these all come under this section 11. Sexual harassment, it is called. There is no touch required, there is no penetration required, only either words and gestures. Clear? Then another category is child pornography. We discuss using child for pornography is an offense. Storing, uploading, sharing pornography where child is included, it's an offense. Am I clear? These are the main offenses. There are offenses like public thing, confidentiality. I have taken only where the child is directly involved. That is part of this offense. We discussed this. Sexual intent is the most important. It is the motive of the case. Except penetration, the first category, rest all required a sexual intent. At the same time, you cannot say, "Oh, I'm not aware. I don't know." It is an offense. That is not possible. Sexual intent could be emotive. There is no defense that there was no sexual intent. Supreme Court made it very clear whether what is important to see whether the action with sexual intent. So groping over blouse is with a sexual intent. Whether there is a skin to skin touch uh, happened or not, it is with a sexual intent. Now, in short, I hope you got an idea about the law. Now, it's a big criticism against this law. What is that? That is, if a girl runs away with voluntarily without any persuasion, can a boy be booked under POCSO? Leave that question. I'll tell you what. As we all know, the age between 16 to 18, maybe 15 to 18, is an age of children. They experiment and they are very anxious about many things, especially biologically, physically. So, there could be a consensual relationship between a boy and a girl. Either of this may, the girl may be 16, boy may be 18, or sometimes maybe 19. 19 then 18, let's take 16 and 18. What happens is the girl went along with the boy uh, with her full consensus, and they had a sexual relationship. So girl's parents, they go to police, especially in any rural police. They first ask what's the age of girl. So they say 16, 17. The police has no option is underlined, option to book this guy ex any law except POCSO. Because the moment the minor girl comes, it is under POCSO law. What happens? He booked under POCSO. It's a cognizable offense, means he can be arrested without warrant, non-bailable offense, non-compoundable offense, and he will not get bail at least 2 or 3 times. Then finally, he lost his future. If he is studying everything over, he becomes uh, a convict in front of society. That's the end of. So if you ask me, this is the most sharpest criticism against this law. What happens whenever a law becomes more stringent? Two things happen. One is something like this. Here, not even today, it's not properly addressed this question. Though there are a lot of even Madras High Court has sent a detailed report to ministry, but nothing has happened even today. Second thing happened, it can misuse the law. The law. So POCSO is one of the highly misused law even today because it is the cases are complaint false. So we will, if time permits, we can discuss that. So this we discussed. It's a POCSO rules where the schools have to. Why I'm saying this? You should check with your school where children going. Do they comply with the POCSO rules and act? If not, they should do it because I remember a case in happened in Kerala maybe 6 months back, 1 year back. A child was groped like this, a boy. So he went and complained to parents. The parents said, "Oh, leave it." So what the- He said, "No, my school, they told me about what is a good touch, what is a bad touch. This is obviously a bad touch. I want to file a complaint." And the child, I think 9 years old, 9 or 10 years old, he took his parent, filed a police complaint against the guy. He got 4 years in prison. So where did he get that information? That good touch, bad touch knowledge. It is from the school. So if our children studying there, our children entitled this uh, information, this training from the school. So you can do that. You can check up with the schools. So that is it from my side, Nirmal.
Yes, sir. So uh, we have like it was a the thing is was very going good, sir, and we have got some questions.
Okay,
So like to discuss that. So
shoot.
the question is first, as you told about the pornography, and there is a question upon that legal position of crime against child pornography in India.
Mm.
The question is framed by the participant as in this way, sir.
Okay. So as I said, uh, any pornography, any porn related business where a child is involved. Child, when I say 18 years, you can get minimum 10 years imprisoned, jail, with 5 lakhs fine. And it can be either if it is available in phone, it is an offense. If you are sharing, it is an offense. If you are storing, it is an offense. Even watching, it is an offense. But at the same time, the adult porn, if you watch privately, even today, this is not an offense. So it's a very grievous offense. It's not only under POCSO, the person can be booked under IT Act as well. The IT Act, there are portion. There, the entire fine penalty is in lakhs.
Yes,
So,
sir.
in any form, child pornography is an offense.
Okay, sir. So basically everything is offense
Of
related to
course,
the child.
one
Yes.
should, yeah, relating to child is involved, it is an offense.
So we'll move to the next question.
Yeah,
So your take on how to prevent misuse of this act and how to save ourselves from people misusing it against us.
very important question. As I said, if the law is more stringent, there is a what you call people try to misuse it. Two examples I can tell you. In Tamil Nadu, there was a case between husband and wife in family court for divorce. They have a 13 years old girl child. So father has a good job. He moved an application for custody of the child because normally the court gives custody who can take care of better the child. So naturally, father is well off vis-a-vis compared to the mother, and he filed an application for custody. Immediately, next day, the wife filed a police complaint against father that he is sexually abusing his own daughter. Same day, father was booked under POCSO. He was put in jail. He could not get bail, and I don't have to tell you what happened that custody application. No court will give a custody to a predator father. What happened? He went to High Court. High Court had a doubt. They summoned the daughter. She is 13 years old. She deposed before the court. There was nothing happened like that. My mother asked me to do that. I did that. So that lady was punished. There was an investigation against her, and last I heard that she had been punished for 6 months jail. So now point is, who advised her to do this? Who can advise to do This how to stop the custody of child. You file a POCSO complaint. Only a lawyer like us. Who else can?
Yes,
So,
sir.
this most of the time, though I have every pain telling this, most of the time we find the loopholes and we show you do this. This is one case. Second case happened in Kerala. A girl had some psychological issue, so taken to a psychologist for counseling. They had 7 8 rounds of counseling, and she was much better. Then suddenly, the parents of the child filed a complaint against the psychologist that during the sessions he had sexually harassed her. So the he also approached High Court, because in that case you have only option to file a Section 482 application before the High Court, nothing else. Then they found that he was not paid. The counseling fee was not paid, irrespective of he asking many times. Finally, he sent a notice to parents for paying the. Against that, as a vengeance, they filed this complaint. So, two things. So, this is only the first part of your question. The most important part is the second part. Look, as I said, control. You know, the most heinous crime. Even the society considers that if you can kill someone, you can still stand. There is a reason. But a child abuse, sexual abuse, even in Bihar, UP, and all, people kill there itself. Mob lynching happens. So that is a very heinous thing. So one should not get into that. Even if it is falsely implicated, there are, you don't lose heart. You have legal remedies to come out of that. But one should be very clear. Last week in Indian Air India flight, Muscat to Kannur, the cabin crew was caught because he tried to grab a boy. So why he is doing? Because they are not aware the consequences. And I'll tell you, he will lose the job. He will be in jail. Most probably, his family, there will be a problem. If his children, they won't be able to go to school. It is in the newspaper because media celebrates such news. So, in any way, be away from all these things. Not even try to mediate and settle such issues. It has to be let police handle with that, right?
So media trial should be stopped in this type of
Yeah,
cases in
yeah.
a way.
In
And
fact,
sir,
there are. Yeah, tell me.
and the previous example you told about the wife who was imprisoned for 6 months, and what section she was booked, sir, for the fake charges under POCSO?
Section 20 POCSO says if the complaint is malicious to malign any person, minimum 6 months jail can be given to them after investigation.
Yes, sir.
What was first question? Media, of course, there is a now recently there's a case happened, means you cannot tell the name of the child, the parents, the address, etc. We call Nirbhaya even today Nirbhaya. Her name is something else. But
Yes.
even after her demise, we address her Nirbhaya because we respect. So media has very stringent. Though I did not show you the offenses here, but if you look at POCSO, there are clear offenses against media, and media more or less there are, even we have taken sessions for media companies, what to do, what not to do. But as I said, it's a very hot topic. POCSO, if you read any paper today, the minimum 3 4 cases you get about POCSO. So media trial only you can go to court if it is specific case. You can go to court. Otherwise, there are provision you need to file FIR against media specifically.
So there is next question, sir. Whether Section 3 of PCMA violates the POCSO Act, sir?
What is PC, which is PCMA section 3?
So Prohibition of Child Marriage Act.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. I didn't. I was confused with MTP. Okay. Right. That's a good question. In fact, in today, in our country, the marriage age is 18 for the girl and 21 for the boy. Though there was a initiative to increase 21 both, it did not happen because of lot of hue and well. What is the most important thing about PCMA is the marriage between two minors. It is not void. It is not illegal. It is voidable. And you know the difference, whoever studying.
What?
Means either child, if they don't want, they have been pressurized. They have been pressurized to do this marriage. They can go to court and declare the marriage illegal. But by design or by default it is not illegal. So that is the reason marriage, child marriage happens even today. The complaint, if the authorities, police, or if they come to know, they will go and check with children, parents, and any compulsion. Then can they can book under PCMA. So in PCMA, now I will connect one more thing since you asked. In marital rape is not an offense in India. Under Section 376, rape one exception, 375, sorry, one exception. If a husband have sexual intercourse forcefully with his wife, if she is more than 15 years, I'm sure this question must have come from that. More than 15 years, it's not a rape. But in 2018, Supreme Court has struck off that they made it even wife is less than 18 years, she can file a case under POCSO against her husband because POCSO Act is a special law, welfare law. So if a wife is less than 18 years, it is the consent has no value. She continues to be child, and it is there. So this has been cleared. There is no apparent contradiction between PCMA and POCSO Act, but a girl or even a boy can go to court or can go to police if they have been forced to do any sexual intercourse. Because as I said, POCSO Act applies only the sexual offense, nothing else.
Yes.
Okay.
So if there is a ingredient of forceful sexual activity during the marriage, then only it can go against it.
If
In
she
the
is
sense,
less than 18 years.
she's less than 18 years.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
Earlier, even today, in the rape section, it is 15, but Supreme Court has made it 18 in a PIL filed in 2018.
Yes, sir. So we'll move to the next question, sir.
Yep,
Uh, what is the punishment for not reporting an offense under POCSO Act, and who can be punished?
6 months, 6 months jail maximum. Anyone can be punished. Means, suppose I'll give you two examples for that. In Kerala, what happened in a movie hall? I'm sure you must have read this. In a movie hall, a guy molested a girl. Later, we came to know that it was an arranged program. His child will be brought in there. So it was caught in a CCTV, right? So the owner of the CCTV operator of the movie hall knew this. There is a slip, but they delayed 2 days. So the owner was booked under Section 90. Owner of the theater, he did not get bail. He was never involved anyway in this case. Since he is being the owner, it was happened in his place, he was booked. So the case is defended. I don't know even the what happened, the final fate of the case. And now one more, since you asked, this medical termination case. Before POCSO came, if a child is minor, if a girl is minor, they want to terminate the pregnancy, then only the parents' consent is required. If it is married, then husband, or even married, you don't need any consent. But if it is minor, but it normally confidential. But after POCSO came, every case where you come to know that a child has been abused. So this gynecologist definitely knew that a child and she is not married, then somebody has abused her. So they should inform the police. So there was a case filed against a gynecologist by police saying that you suppressed. You should have informed under POCSO. She went up to Supreme Court to caution. So that's also there.
So what happened at the Supreme Court level, sir?
Supreme Court said that she did not advise anything. It was just referred to her. Rather, Supreme Court in a salvage somehow saved her. But if you go strictly as per POCSO Act, she did an offense. But somehow it was quashed.
Okay, sir. So basically, we have to be vigilant enough. If anything
Very
is going
careful,
wrong, we
very
have to.
very careful. Because there is no, as you know, you cannot say that, oh, I didn't know that. So what you can do is you can make aware of people. Look, it's a double-edged law. Should be very
Yes.
careful. It's not that you are not doing anything, still you can be booked.
It's like एक तरफ खाई एक तरफ कोड़ा sir. कहीं पर भी
Absolutely,
जाओ.
absolutely. One should be very careful.
Yes, sir. So next question is, should we don't allow girl who is less than 18 to work at home in absence of her mother if she says her mom is not well?
See, working, whether a Child Labor Act permits or not, I'm not sure what is the age. But what we have to do is, we should be careful. You should not give any opportunity to file. If the case is false or a false complaint, you can't help it. You need to face it. But it doesn't mean that a girl should not work without her mother. There is nothing like that. But you should know what is allowed, what is not allowed in the law. So saying no for a job, I don't think personally that's a right action.
Yes, sir. Sir, coming to the next question, which I was talking before the starting of the session
Yeah.
about the fake percentage of, as I went to the Sikkim for a solo trip. During that, I visited the court and also, so I was talking with the advocates. So they told me that majority of the cases of the related to the POCSO are in the district court, and according to their view, it's like 60 to 70% is just fake because the parents are like they were in some relationship and they want to break the relationships, so they file this type of cases. So, what's your view on this, sir?
Uh, you can see it's not only Sikkim, any state in India. Uh, Sometimes POCSO cases, it is not fake. In fact, what happens? 92% accused are known to the victim, because sexual offense in children's case happen either at home, or somebody's guest at home, or school, or some wherever child go playground, or thing. So 92%, just look at that percentage. It's a 3 years back data. 93 percentage the child knew who has sexually abused. Now what's happened, take a scenario at home, a grandfather or an uncle had abused a child, and initial hue and cry parents, and they file a complaint. Then they will start trying to settle, or say that compounding efforts. so that child will change their statement in court. Most of the cases, child, because there are judgment, even Supreme Court judgment, a child evidences alone can be relied upon in a POCSO. It's not that because of child there is no. There are a couple of cases came where only child evidence is there. So Supreme Court says you can completely rely on. So what they do, they will try to change the statement of the children before the police. And children, we know, if parents say either threat or by blackmailing, children will say. Then your friend, what you met in Sikkim, he will say it's a fake case. It is not fake case. Most of the time, it is made fake case later. So this is happening everywhere because they have even you cannot blame the parents also. The complaint is against uncle, maybe father's brother, mother's brother. They have to live in the society. So this issue there, and there are cases. Then it becomes a fake case because court has to. If child completely changes the statement, child says there is no complaint. No. Police made the statement, and defense lawyer make use of it. It's a fake case, but it's not a fake case because, in my view, they even the parents think many times going to court about a child, especially if girl, because in rural area even shadi वगैरह सब problem है. So they think many a time. So yes, of course it's happening, but as I said, you can't make a sweeping opinion about this much percentage of until the trial is happening.
Yes, yes. So there is a next question. So, on whom is the onus on to prove or disprove culpable mental state under POCSO Act, sir?
As I said in that salient features, one section 29 of POCSO Act, the presumption of guilt. The court will think that the person is guilty, and in POCSO, it is accused responsibility. Only prosecution needs to prove the material, the first thing. The child is so and so, and there is a sexual harassment happen, sexual abuse happen, and this person is. If prosecution proves these three things, it is the duty of the accused to prove that he is innocent, he or she is innocent.
Yes, sir. I hope this answers you, Abhishek Ahuja. And we have come to the end and we have completed all our questions. And sir, we also have sir law gardener have a tradition. After completing all the questions, we have one separate question to the guest, sir.
Oh,
It's like the question is like, what is your advice to the us students and the young generation to grow in this field, and any other advice you would like to give, sir?
okay, okay. Thank you. That's an opportunity. Uh, as you told friends that I have 32 years of experience. I enrolled 90 December. So the point is, if you I look back, of course, the survival part, the money part, we need to survive it because it's a career, it's our bread and butter. That all I agree. But still, there are many things a lawyer should do for the society. What we are trying to do now, like this, is to make people aware, because our problem is, though we know we have 5,000 laws. If you take all central state government laws, rules, everything, more than 5,000. But how many people even think that, oh, it's not for us. Forget about law. How many judgments a public a lay person can read and understand? Because courts are writing judgment for the lawyers or the legal students who can understand. So we need to change that. So we as a we legal, our idea to simplify the law. I believe the law and the judgment should come in bullet points. 5 points, 6 points, not more than. You don't have to prove anything written. People should understand that's very important. So my point is this: I immensely appreciate this sort of initiate. Other than our survival or a job, a career, we need to do some kind of awareness program. Well, I'll tell you one incident when we started this POCSO awareness. Deepa and I, we approached some state government authorities of child welfare committee and all. So they told us, look, why are you teaching the public? You teach the prosecutor, you train the police, you train the judge, because they are not aware. So they were not impressed that we are telling public. So I told them, look, what we are looking at is prevention of the offense, because the prosecutor, the police, the judge all comes post incident. Even if a guy who sexually abused a child have been hanged till death, but the child carries that trauma entire the life. There is a study that children, the people who are more sexually violent, are undergone some kind of experiences. So you being lawyers, you can do many things. May not be big things, but making aware of the people, understand, simplify the law. We need to simplify the law. So towards that, if you are doing, you can call me anytime. I'm there, and
Thank
so do something, contribute something, because we are not in a job where a 9 to 5 we work and we go home. No, we have certain responsibilities.
you. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, as you
You're welcome.
talk about the trauma and all, so I just a question clicked in my mind, sir. I wanted to ask. So, does government provide any psychiatrist or counseling sessions to the children who are undergoing through these offenses and cases and the court-related matters? They have very much of pressure.
Good question. CWC, Child Welfare Committee, there is a organization reports under National Commission Act. They have some thing, not per se counseling. They have special trainers and special educators, translators. One. Second, there is a compensation provision under POCSO Act. If child is not able to meet her or his expenses, there are two types of. One is interim compensation. When the child is abused, the moment you file FIR, you can approach court and they can get a how to releasing compensation and all. It's a big issue. I'm not talking about the practical side at all, because when we heard some complaints, there is a monetary thing. So counseling as such, there is no provision, but CWC can do as per law many.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And I would like to give a thank you for accepting our what to say invitation, the short notice, and providing us this very much of like insightful and simplified way of this act. And we can see the comments like the participants have enjoyed this session because we had a great demand from very I can say from a 1 year to conduct a session on POX Act, and today we finally did, and we're very grateful to you, sir, for conducting this session in a very simplified way. And I would also like to thank all the participants for having so much patience and listening to this session very carefully and sharing your questions to us. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you,
You are most
participants.
welcome. I enjoyed the session. Looking forward to have again such thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having me.